Hi, my name is Lisa Tiemeyer, and this is Barriers to the Web 2.0, Module 5, AEP 800. We were asked to summarize 4 different articles. One of the articles was Barriers to Using Web 2.0 in 21st Century Schools. For this, we are preparing students for jobs that have not even been created yet. And so as teachers, we have to use some technology and skills that they're going to need for those jobs. We need to be ready. In my school, we have Promethean boards, we have digital projectors, we're a one-to-one school. K through 2, we have mini iPads. 3 through 5th grade, we have iPads, and then 6th through 12th grade, they have MacBooks. And for the 7th through 12th grade, our junior high and high school students, they can take their MacBooks home each night for a small fee. And this causes some of our digital divide in our school because one, either parents can't afford that fee, or two, even if they could afford that fee, they don't have internet at home. With us being a small community, there's not a place to go, there's not a McDonald's or somewhere to go for free Wi-Fi. And so if they do need to complete an assignment, they need to come in before school, and they can enter the building a half an hour before, or they can stay after school. And so if they have sports or anything like that, then there's a problem. So one way that our school is trying to combat that is we're using more study halls so students can complete their homework on that. We also have a lack of time and training for teachers, and so teachers, most of them want to use new technology. However, they don't have the time to figure it out, and so we don't always have training to figure out how to do the different technology. Sometimes we do have professional development days where we'll get trained on a piece of equipment, but it's trained one day and then it's just kind of put into our hands. And so for teachers to really figure out how to do it, they have to dive into it themselves. We do have one person in our technology department, and he covers 4 different schools. With that, he's not always available for help, and so sometimes our technology support is lacking. Our administrative supports, they're really good until we want to purchase something, purchase an app, and then the support isn't always there. 7 common barriers that obstruct tech adoption in education. One is having a lack or no vision. And so with this, the first thing that districts usually want to cut if they have to cut something is technology, because it does take a huge chunk out of our budget. And so with being a smaller district, that is one thing that does get cut. We are, like I said, a one-to-one with technology. However, if something gets broken, a screen gets cracked, it doesn't always get replaced that school year just because we don't always have the budget for that. Or there's not a vision as to what we're going to do with this technology that we just purchased. Changing what a teacher's role should be. This is comparing traditional teachers to more of a flipped type of classroom, project-based or inquiry-based learning. In my school, we're trying to do more project-based learning. However, I'd like to see some more professional development on that because we're just barely skimming the top on that. Considering the achievement gap, so we have some lower SES students compared to some higher, and some of those students don't have the technology at their house that some of our higher students are using on a daily basis, and so they're already behind. So if we don't put that into the school where they can get their hands on it, start to kind of figure it out, then they're getting a huge gap as they go. Figuring out how to scale promising innovations. And so on here, we are looking at if we have success in a classroom, how are we going to go ahead and have that success throughout our district? How are we going to promote that throughout? And then we have lacking the money to invest in technology. Like I said, sometimes technology is the first to go if we're trying to cut budgets, just because it does take a huge chunk. And so making sure that we do have that money and we are investing it into technology. And we're not only buying the technology, we're providing professional development for it. Thinking beyond textbooks, this would be using some of our open free resources. However, the problem occurs when teachers have to use their own time to try to figure out what resources would be good, which ones are research-based. And so a lot of teachers don't necessarily want to use that unless they're given time to figure that out. Having a strong infrastructure in place is just making sure that we have robust Wi-Fi, which doesn't always occur in my district. Sometimes the Wi-Fi is a little spotty or non-existent. So making sure that that is up to date and there for teachers and students. And then again, having that professional development. The digital divide was about the haves and have-nots. So our low SES, like I said, they don't always have the same technology and advances as some of our higher SES. When they go home, some things that some of our students is just routine to them. It's not always routine to some of our low SESs. There's many obstacles to overcome. Like I said, our MacBooks can be taken home for a fee. So making sure that maybe some of those students that can't pay that fee, they come up with something so they can go ahead and complete their assignment. We do have a lack of community resources. Just being a small district, like I said, you can't just go somewhere and get Wi-Fi. You can travel to a surrounding bigger town, but nothing here. Open education resources, then and now. So in the past, you've been able to find bits and pieces of open resources, different curriculum on the internet for free, but it hasn't been a full curriculum. Now you can find full curriculum for free online. I know my district is a little weary of this just because it's not always research-based. It also is very time-consuming for teachers and for district staff, just trying to figure out what does fit into the curriculum, what does fit into their standards. And so sometimes it's not always used because of that. However, it does, besides being free and helping with budget, it does provide teachers, they'll start to boost their knowledge of their curriculum because they have to dive so far into the standards to figure out what they even need. For the video, she talked about primary grades are more likely to use technology just because they are there with the teacher all day long. Secondary teachers don't have as much time with their students, and so they don't always want to give up that time to incorporate technology into their lessons. Sometimes they'd rather do a more traditional type of lesson. So we need to make sure we have same resources for all. So if students are have a high percentage of technology that they're using in the primary grades, that they can continue that on as they go into the secondary grades. Do you feel the digital divide can be resolved? I do believe that it can be resolved with some more government mandates. One of the things that they talked about was updates for high-speed access. So when we're making new roads or building new things, we're just digging once. When we're making that road, we are going ahead and laying the cables and everything needed to provide high-speed access to the surrounding homes. And just funding, making sure we have the funding there to provide for all. And then competition is always good, competition in between different businesses so we can get the price down a little bit. What skill sets do you feel 21st century students need prior to graduation? Soft skills are a big thing to me, that students need to be able to have eye contact, be able to communicate with others, be able to collaborate with others, being flexible. So if we have them on technology all day, every day, they're lacking and losing a bunch of those soft skills that they need in the real world. They also need to use basic and advanced technology tools. So starting off in the younger grades, just making sure that they know how to type, and then going into the more advanced technology tools that they can use in the real world for a career. And then making sure that they have problem solving and critical thinking skills, and just being creative, making sure that they can work not only with a group, but they can also have the motivation to work individually. What impact has the global economy had on your use of the internet? I use the internet daily, whether it's for text messages, emails, Facebook messages. I not only use that personally, but I text message parents. If we're doing something in my classroom, I will send them pictures over text message. That way they can kind of see what's going on, and it's kind of nice. I do online shopping. If I want to get groceries, I can order them online and just pick them up, and I even have to go into the store. Online classes. So I'm getting my endorsement from Fort Hays, and I've never even been to Fort Hays. And so just getting that education there is one thing I use the internet for. Professional development online. So we have to have professional development done from Infinitec, which is a website, before school even starts. So we're already starting at the summer. And then all my banking and bills are paid online also. What technology training do you still need to effectively integrate technology into your current position? I am changing positions and changing districts, so this one's a little bit difficult. I will need professional development on programs at my new district that they're using, and I need to know how they're incorporating it into their district. I want to come up with innovative approaches and programs to work with special education students, because that will be part of my new position. And then I'm switching from MacBooks to Chromebooks, so I'll need some professional development on that. Is your school or district equipped with 21st century technology? Explain. Yes, we are, but we need to continue. We're a one-to-one technology school, but our technology doesn't always work. Like I said, if a screen cracks or an iPad gets dropped, it doesn't always get replaced immediately or if at all that school year. And so we got to come up with different ways to go ahead and keep that lesson going for that student. We do have Promethean boards in every room. We have Wi-Fi access, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes, like I said, it's a little spotty. And we do need more teacher training to make sure that everybody is up to date and implementing technology as well as they can be and should be. What are the advantages of innovative practices in school? Well, motivation and engagement of students is a big one. They're used to having technology right at their fingertips, and so they'll work for that. It motivates them. They like that. Preparing students for the workforce, because they are going to, really, no matter what job they have, they're going to have to use technology in it. And using open resources reduce costs of materials for districts and really helps with budget cuts. We are not only creating 21st century learners, but 21st century teachers, because they're learning right along with them. They're becoming more effective. And really we can connect with the entire world with just one click. What disadvantages do you see? Like I said, soft skills are being lost very quickly if we just give students technology and we never collaborate with each other. We could have staff pushback just because if we have more traditional teachers, they're not wanting to maybe learn something different. We have a learning curve, not only with teachers, but also with students learning to use that technology. You could have inappropriate use, students looking up things that they're not supposed to, and again, that digital divide, and then a cost. Anytime you're going to implement a new program or technology, you're going to have a large cost. Have you experienced problems with cyberbullying or other inappropriate internet use with students? Not in the elementary school, but I know that it happens in the high school, just inappropriate content and pictures being passed from one student to another. We have in our district have parents on Facebook that have cyberbullied other teachers, and just the principal not agreeing with what he or she said, and so they went ahead and posted it on Facebook. Thank you for watching.